welcome to the 100th episode of the Real Estate Huddle. We've been doing these podcasts for a couple years now, and believe it or not, we have made it to episode 100. So good job, team. Way to go. We're excited. And thank you, Kristen, for the wonderful 100 balloons. We're pumped to celebrate this, and hopefully, our mission with this was put out some really good information so that it can be something that people can use and it's valuable, as far as navigating a home purchase or just the Denver area, neighborhoods, a sale, that sort of thing. And hopefully it's been entertaining as well, listening into the conversations for those of you that have listened in. And so we decided to go live today, and we're going to be answering questions from you guys as an audience. If you're tuning in and you have something that you'd like to ask on a chat, just text it in, and then we'll mention your question and we'll talk over it. And we are real estate professionals here in the Denver metro area, and combined experience of over 35, 40 years now between all of us.
You're like 20 of those.
18. I know. I'm getting old, but we're super stoked to talk through this, and there's a lot of questions that are going on in people's minds right now in the market. So let's just dial it up. We got our first question yet?
Yeah. Okay. So what would you guys say is step one of the home buying process?
You want to take that one?
Call us.
Yeah.
No, I wrote some time.
I'd say getting pre-approved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the first step in the buyer's flow chart is always to work with getting pre-approved, because the last thing you want to do is look at $2 million houses when you're only approved for $500,000, because everything at $500K is going to look disappointing compared to $2 million. So figure out where you are, set that realistic expectation. Also, just because they qualify you for $1 million home purchase, you may not financially want to do that. So get you clean up your house and your finances yourself. I think that really makes a big difference, so that way you can make an educated decision when it comes to buying a home.
The first step is wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Yeah.
Anyway, wanting to do it is a big step, but yeah, I think it gets underplayed, the importance of knowing what you can afford.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. All right. No, I think I echo that. What's next?
Okay. Do you recommend people interviewing more than one real estate agent?
Nope, just me.
Yeah, just call us. We're good. No, I
The
think
buck stops here.
yeah, I totally respect it. Like, we've worked with a lot of young professionals, like Miguel and Julia come to mind. We've got several of those that we've met with that have been very educated, that do their homework. They interview 3, 4 agents and then make the best decision. And I think when you've got a purchase that's as big as a real estate purchase, like a home that you're buying, it's a big deal. For most people, that's the biggest purchase they've ever made. And so having someone that has the experience to coach you through that properly with great advice, and that has transactional experience, right? I used to laugh when I was young in the business, 28, 29, and I had a lot of agents that were saying I've been in the business for 40 years, right? But I knew that they hadn't done that many transactions. And so for me, if I was a buyer, I wouldn't want to work with someone just because they've been in the business a long time. It's all about how many transactions has that agent done, because we learn something every transaction, right? Every person's different, every home is different. And then you get to know, and you kind of polished, as your career goes on. And so I think that, getting a good feel for that, and then personality fit is, I think, also key. Work with someone that you like and that you enjoy working with, that you think is going to go to bat for you.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit of having us be a team, is we've got the mix of the transaction experience and the personality difference, but also we can really kind of support your needs from multiple angles. So that part I really do appreciate. So that's where the team has a big advantage versus a one person doing it all.
Totally.
So we have Kristen behind the scenes doing absolutely everything for us, and she's a rock star. So
yeah, just the communication level that you get from working with a team is so much better than someone that's trying to do everything all at once. Yeah. Cool. All right, what's next?
So how do people book a tour? If they see a home on Zillow that they like, and it just says book a tour here on Zillow.com.
Don't book a tour.
don't. Yeah.
The question was, should they?
Yeah. Should they? So should we break down what Zillow actually does in the background? So if you put in your information and say, I want to book a tour here, they sell your information to a real estate agent who is willing to go show that house for them, but they're going to agree to take a large chunk of that commission. So that compensation, so that agent isn't going to be as motivated because they're losing a large percentage, 30, 50%. 35% of that transaction is going to go straight to Zillow just for giving them that buyer.
Yeah. If it's Zillow Flex, if not, then it's as an agent that they're still doing market share too. So their agents are paying a monthly amount, like could be $2,000, $3,000 a month for one zip code and just leads in that zip code. And so that may be an area that they know very well, or it may just be an area that they like selling homes in, but they don't really know very well. So
Or
you
it might have been just available for them to pay to get to because it was cheaper than the zip code they know.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
The mistake I think a lot of people make is they think the agent they're getting connected to on Zillow is the listing agent for that home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a random buyer's agent that paid for that lead.
Yeah.
So you're not getting like an in where you're working with the listing agent.
Yeah.
It's much better to just have representation, have somebody who has a fiduciary duty to you, and then have them set the showing instead of going through Zillow.
Right.
Yeah, you get somebody who doesn't have, so that they don't have credentials to get to that referral. They just paid to get to that referral. So that's somebody's business plan, but
Keeping it light, I wrote down in advance, everyone should do this once, but only once. Because the amount of contact you get, not just from other agents, but from mortgage lenders, generally it starts with your interaction on Zillow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. All right. What's next?
Okay. What makes the Drinksmith team different compared to other agents and other teams?
we got Spencer.
We're better.
He's got big
You can
lungs.
only have one of those.
Yeah, I mean, I just think we have a great competitive advantage in the market, and what the value that we bring is experience, but also like the communication level is so much greater. And we usually work with two of us for one client, so we have a high level of communication, like on our text thread, that you get. Multiple people that are working with you. And if one's gone, then the other one is right there, to help you and keep moving things along as far as showings go or the transaction goes. So I think that's one big difference. I think the other huge thing too is like we actually love negotiating for people, and we will just hear you out and say, all right, what do you want? Like what is it that you want out of this? And then once you tell us what you want, we're going to go try to get it for you and do everything we can from negotiation tactics to try to get that deal that you want. And we're never going to throw you under the bus or make it sound like, oh, we've got this tough client that we're working with, like, no, we're going to really like point out like, this is why this price makes sense, and it's because this home backs to this road, or this home is, it's been sitting on the market for this long. And I know you've had this kind of feedback, it's price. That's why you guys are still on the market, and we will absolutely go to bat, for people. And I think that's what makes us different, because so many agents out there are just facilitators that are just trying to get deals done and get paid.
And even on top of that, like we try to go the extra mile as much as we possibly can. Like even to the point, for example, like I know I've had a couple clients where they're like, we love, like we'll be driving to a showing or whatever, and they'll say, you see that house right there? Like that's the one, like that's exactly the one we want. Like, okay, I'll go knock on it right now. Do you want me to go knock on it? And they're like, no. Don't do that. I'm like, it's really okay. If you want that house, we can go knock and see if they'll sell you the house.
Yeah.
And I've done that before in front of clients or without them. Like, we'll knock doors in neighborhoods just saying, hey, I've got a client that wants to live in this neighborhood and they really love the layout of your home. Are you interested in selling? Because we got someone ready to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. But like those are the types of things where it's like, we're not just in it for the transaction. It's very like, we want what you want, and we want you guys to be happy about it.
Yeah,
So,
we want the experience to go really well for them.
we're willing to do those things. Like
Yep.
it's not an inconvenience for us. It's just us getting the job done for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like going off of that, as someone who just joined the team, something that I've noticed is this team is really relationship and connection based more than anything. So they're not just focused on getting that transaction done, but actually making sure you're happy, which I think is cool.
Yeah.
I always think about it as, we all come from different places, and it's the old 1 + 1 = 3. You get a lot of benefit when we bounce scenarios off, like I just did it with 3 of you, to get the best experience on any given situation to bring to bear on behalf of the client. strength in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say we have an information advantage, like not only through experience, but I think everyone on the team is very knowledgeable. And going back to what Landon said with negotiation, the more you know and the more information you have, the easier it is to negotiate. And I love doing that. That's one of my favorite parts, is like getting people a good deal and getting concessions, negotiating things. So
Yeah.
I think there's some agents who their favorite thing is just, oh, let's just get it to closing and get it done, and they don't really want to do that much work. But I think everybody on the team really enjoys what they do and wants to do that for their clients. So.
Yeah. There's been times where I negotiated for like 3.5 weeks to get a purchase price down to where it was reasonable for my buyers. And that was like the most exciting 3.5 weeks. And people are like, doesn't that seem stressful? No, I love doing that, because there's something about walking away from the art of the deal with such a good deal and knowing that your clients put their trust in you to be able to do that. And they know that you put your best foot forward in all aspects of it. So.
Yeah, and I like going above and beyond, going the extra mile is something like we've done a lot. Where, like you mentioned, knocking on doors. Like I've knocked on the neighbors' doors to find out, like, are these good neighbors? Like, does it seem like it's a good fit? But when people have asked me to like, or they've been wondering about the neighbors, like, I'll just go meet a couple of them if you want, and just give you an idea of like who lives by you. And so I think that's been helpful. We also have like our PropStream stuff, like our software where we call around and we can try to find off-market deals for buyers. We can also, we've done a lot of just calling around our listings to find out, like, can we find a buyer through the neighbors, just by asking them, like, do you know anyone who you want to make your neighbor? So stuff like that, we're not just putting a sign up in the yard and putting you on the MLS. Like, as a seller, we're making sure that we're doing everything we can to try to find you a buyer, which I think is unique in our industry. So, all right, what's next?
All right. How do I get pre-approved for a mortgage?
That's an easy one. So we've got some awesome lending partners. So you just call. We would absolutely connect you with someone that we know and trust that's done a great job in the past. I think it's just so important to work with mortgage lenders that have a track record for success, because there's others that will bait and switch you. As far as like a great rate goes, like my mailbox is full of those with like, oh, you can get this rate. And then if you call them, then they'll be like, oh, that was actually for this, and it's just frustrating. There's lenders that won't close on time, that will drag their feet. So we've got some amazing lending partners that we've been using for, 15 years now that are phenomenal at what they do, and they always get stuff done. So I would reach out to us, and then we can get you connected. And if you'd like to talk to 3, we can give you 3. If you want to talk to 7, we can give you 7. Right. So whatever works best. But yeah, we've got some great ones for you.
Yeah, you want to shop the rate around, kind of always, the rule is always kind of get 3 quotes, right? So work with 3 people, kind of who you best relational with. But also the other thing is someone who, like a non-professional that doesn't have a good track record, you get to closing, you're going to put your earnest money in jeopardy. So you don't want a $10,000 check that you wrote, like, being in jeopardy because someone is not being professional on their end. When they say everything's good to go, but the reality is the money isn't wired, and that's not happening.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of emotions. You don't want to have to deal with a wire not coming through on the right day.
Totally.
So
Yeah, and even if you don't lose your earnest money, you might end up for like 10 hours at a title company with your baby having a very bad time. So
yeah,
if you use your cousin who says they're really good at mortgage lending, sometimes they're not.
yeah.
When I think of the pre-approval, I think in my past, I'd go right to my bank. Nothing wrong with going to your bank. That should be one of your 3. But most of the folks we work with and connect you with are brokers, and they can represent lots of lending sources other than the one product that bank can sell. So part of it, I think, is getting a broader exposure.
Yeah, and getting also people who keep the loan in-house have the ability to go through the underwriting process themselves versus people who are trying to get a conforming loan that gets sold out on the open marketplace. So someone who can, I call it like weigh in with common sense and actually be able to get a better, make a common sense decision on, hey, this person's self-employed, but he owns a business and these numbers are within spec of what that person does for a job. So
Yeah. That's a good point. And it depends on the type of loan too. Like if it's jumbo, then the big banks are going to be actually some of the most incentivizing to work with. If it's like there's credit unions that may have a different answer for you. So we've got connections with all of those types of people.
And we'll be able to get whatever your situation is and line you with the folks that are going to be the best for that. So
Yep, definitely. Awesome. Good question. All right, what's next?
Okay. How long do homes usually stay on the market?
Pretty loaded.
Yeah.
It's just all dependent on the market you're in. It's like if we look back at COVID, I think the average day on market was like 5 days, maybe like 3 days at one point.
yeah,
But now we're pushing 45 days on average.
Yeah. Yep, that's about right.
Colorado Springs is 90 to 100.
Yeah, and honestly, that is also dependent on the area in which you're selling or looking to buy, and because sometimes it can be a little bit more area specific,
Yeah.
and so
And it's
I'm
very
not,
seasonal.
I'm not going to say which areas because I can get in trouble for that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, as of like the latest data, which I think we have is July, the average days on market was 53. And then the median has climbed up to 66. So I think what that kind of shows us is even though the average days is 53, there's some homes that are going really quick. They're going in the first weekend or two that kind of pull that down. And then there's also some homes right now that are sitting on the market for 100+ days.
Yeah.
That start pulling that upwards. So depends on your home, depends on the area, just very specific. But on average, we're around 50. So.
Yeah. And that's broken down like I think it's 42 for single family and then like 56, 58 on condos and townhomes. So there's pretty big difference between the two of those right now. But like if you're a seller, you got to plan on, about a 2-month market time plus 30-day close, about a 3-month time frame, to get sold on average right now. So you want to plan ahead, based on when you need to move, be thinking ahead on that. All right, what's next?
Okay. What should I look for during showings that I guess a lot of people kind of like miss, or what do you recommend?
Yeah,
That's a good
question. That's a great question.
The engineer, don't let him talk.
My worst thing is when you walk into a house and like the fragrance is like covering up, masking something, and you just get like nauseous from the smell. So maybe some people are trying to be pleasant and they like that, but I always get concerned that they're trying to cover up a mold smell or something bad. So I also look at if they've done upgrades, like if they put a water heater in, did they put the expansion tank in? Does it have a reputable plumbing name on it, or was it Bob's handyman that came over and did it? So just looking for the quality of repairs because of the ones that you can see, because sometimes the repairs are behind a wall that you can't see, and I'm pretty good about picking those things apart. But some of the things that are really big in Denver are structural issues. So I'm sure we all have, we've got nauseous walking across a wavy floor or something else. So it's a good time to bring a golf ball with you. Set it down and roll it on.
So I start a little higher. Like everything looks pretty good in photos. You got to go see it. You got to smell it. Like we have our different, ways to prep our new buyer clients. But if you walk in and you smell or see something and you said that ain't my home, that's fine. We've got lots of other homes to look to.
It doesn't affect us at all.
You got to see it in person to make it your own. And then part of what we bring to the table is how we look in corners and HVAC room, etc. We'll give you that feedback. But at the highest level, you got to see it and you got to smell it.
Yeah, for like what should I look out for as a buyer, I'd say look if it's a home that you want to live in. If you have a good agent, we are looking at the utilities, we're looking at structural things and so a good agent is going to be pointing those things out to you as you go through so that you don't have to have that burden of like worrying about that stuff. But one thing I would look out for is cameras. People have Ring cameras now, and people will spill the beans and be like, I want to offer on this house. I don't care what we have to pay, right in front of the camera. So I'd say look out for cameras and don't talk about the deal in front of them.
That's a good one.
That's a real good one.
I think a couple other things that I personally look out for, especially because of like just the financial investment you're making is a big one. And so making sure you're in a spot that's going to give you the best return possible is pretty important. And that can come down to like the location you're in, whether it's backing to open space or backing to a main road, or even just the fact of, being on a through street in a neighborhood versus a cul-de-sac. Some streets may not seem super threatening, but what I see when I'm driving into a house is like, okay, this is probably the street that you come into the subdivision, and that's the street that you're getting to everyone's house through, even if it seems like a small street, or like stuff like that where you know, yellow line roads, or you know, just things like that. So obviously there's the interior and the exterior of the home, which we watch like a hawk, but it also comes down to like literally where the house is located, like how it's positioned on the plot. Like I said, with cul-de-sacs, things like that, there's positives and negatives to the location, and that can be a huge factor in what people are looking for down the road.
Yeah,
when it comes time to sell again.
Being in a neighborhood where you're at the bottom of a valley where all the water is going to come down, it's like, oh, well, the backyard sloped to the house, so you're probably going to have some flooding issues. So those are the types of things that we're looking for. The other thing, my best advice that I've really liked is if you got clients that are really interested in putting an offer on a home, is have them be in the neighborhood around 5:00 p.m., like when everybody's coming home from
I was
work.
going to say like 3 o'clock
Yep.
when they're leaving school.
Yeah, that just go try on the neighborhood in what would be like a busy time. So, this, I didn't realize it, but this is the main entrance to this whole development, and there's 50 cars going through here in 10 minutes. So, that's a real, just try on the neighborhood, see if it's a good fit for you.
I had a client just recently. We were looking at homes, and they loved this house that we were going through, and we go out to the backyard, and they're like they're not even noticing what I see and hear, and they're like, man, yeah, this seems great. And they made the mistake of asking like, well, what do you think? I was like, okay, like the house is awesome, but I don't know if you hear that clicking sound or see these huge wires right overhead in this back green belt, but you're going to hear that all the time. You're going to see those all the time. Might get a little bit annoying. They're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I can hear it now. Which may have been like more of like a sales prevention thing, but I'm glad because they ended up finding a house like in a cul-de-sac, really nice, like even better. And it's just one of those things that they may not have noticed, but some people might notice down the road.
Yeah.
Like more like people like Brock that are super engineer-y, analytical type A. And they notice everything. It's like, okay, it's going to be a little bit harder to sell with that maybe in the backyard. So
And really, we're just really selfish. We just want to pick our listing that we're going to sell in the future.
yeah, it's more for me than anything. I'm not selling this garbage.
Yeah, for me, it's like you mentioned water, like in the neighborhood as a whole. For me, it's like the grading right around the home. Is the driveway sinking in where now it's just spilling into the garage, into foundation walls on the sides. Like grading's a big deal. And if you've ever had your home flooded, like with a basement flooding or anything like that, you never want water in your home. Also looking at like water stain spots, soft spots on drywall. Just stuff like that. Just making sure it's
even
not
like the tiniest
having
cracks.
issues.
Like with water comes like foundation issues, like you said before, Brock. Like, so we're looking at like the smallest drywall cracks next to your windows or your doors. We're looking at doors that maybe aren't latching or rubbing because of a warped door frame or jamb or whatever.
Yeah, things are
like
out of
those
square.
things you don't realize. Some people don't realize in Colorado, like those things matter because it just means that you've either settled quite a bit or you're shifting currently. And it's just something to keep an eye on for sure, and especially in certain parts of Colorado that are more prone to it.
Yeah,
than
that
others.
egress window in that bonus room downstairs is no longer something that opens, so you got to think about what are you going to do. So because it's no longer square, so that glass doesn't slide.
We try not to be super critical of every house. Like we do want you to love the house that you're in and stuff, but we do want to make sure that there's no regrets down the road because we
So
decided not to tell
this
you.
is like an ad for why you need an agent like us, because this is the way we look at it. The question was, what should you as a buyer? Is this your home? Do you want this to be your home? Do you love it? So focus on the big picture and know that we're going to help you.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to
notice-
steer you,
You
but
can notice as much as your mind will allow you to, but that's why you have an agent so that we can make up what you're not seeing.
Yeah.
So,
I'd rather tell a buyer something hard now instead of apologize for it after they close and they hate it. So like clicking of power lines in the backyard.
happened a lot during COVID.
Yeah.
Happened a lot during COVID.
Yeah, and I think
People
there's
kinda had to settle.
there's a fine line between like us interjecting our opinion on stuff and helping with investment advice, right? Because like this is all about our buyers, right? That buy a house, so it's all about them, and it's such an exciting time for them. So we don't want them to buy the house that we want. It's all about them buying the house that they want, but they have to understand the resale implications of investment and how value works, And so I think that's really where we can come in handy.
Well, I think the way I look at it is as a buyer, you're looking at a home and it's all emotional and it's wow and all this, stuff coming in. We've seen so many homes that there's not a whole lot of wow factor for us in most cases, but we're seeing what the buyer might be blind to. Like we're covering their blind side in a way. And that's the part that we're actually our fiduciary responsibility, and also we want that relationship to last, so we want to be able to tell them that. So,
Yep. Awesome. All right, what's next?
Okay. Is it okay to offer under asking price? Would you guys recommend that?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny question.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a funny question, but like, it's like some people really do think that it's like sticker price, and they're afraid to negotiate, or they're just more of your rule followers, I think, that are out there. And so, like, helping everybody to know that everything is negotiable in a real estate deal.
Even that Corvette in the garage.
Even their pet. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we have heard of a couple of those, though, where
We
the
want
dog has
Garfield.
been included with the house. But, like, mostly because the dog didn't want to leave the living room. But we have not done a deal like that, just to clear that up. But I have heard of it being done in California. So anyways, back on topic here. It absolutely is. And what we're seeing right now is like homes are selling for about 96% of their list price. So on the average price right now, that's about a $30,000 price drop, right? And it comes in the form of either concessions, meaning buyer, closing costs that are paid from the seller to the buyer, or price drops. And so it's absolutely, that's the norm, right? But we've seen deals go down 75,000 in some cases. There's been quite a few that we've had go lower than that, and then we've seen some go above asking price sometimes. But absolutely, don't be afraid to ask. The worst they can say is no.
And it comes back to it depends on the market. Like right now we're in a market where as a buyer, you have a little bit more power than you did 4 years ago.
Yep.
To negotiate, and we work with a lot of sweetheart buyers that are very cognizant to other people's feelings, and I think I get the question every single time, do you think it's okay to come in a little bit lower? Do you think they'll take something like that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It's just if you're in a lower inventory market, it might be a little bit different because you'll probably end up competing with somebody to where you kind of have to put up some more money to get what you want.
If you're more of like a competitive person and kind of enjoy the game of it all, it can also be kind of fun. Like if it isn't your absolute number one home, but you want to see what you could probably get it for, like you never know until you ask.
The thrill of negotiating.
Yeah.
For sure. Is that you, Gabby?
I don't know. Yeah, I definitely like seeing what I can get away with
Yeah. Nice.
and negotiating for clients too. I think that's fun. Kind of like how Brock said
Yeah.
when he was negotiating for 3 weeks. I was like,
Totally.
the most fun times he's had. So
That's how I am too, and I think a lot of buyers are like that too, and we lean into that. So that's cool.
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every offer that was so low I thought the agent was going to come to my house with a gun, I'd have a couple nickels. So we've gotten them accepted before. It's definitely worth it to offer under. The worst thing they can say is no, and you aren't going to have the house. And if you never offered, you were never going to have the house. So there's kind of no downside really to coming in low. I'd say make a reasonable offer, but coming in low is definitely something that can be done, and in some situations should be done.
well, we've had who's on our team they submitted an offer, it was ignored or not countered, and then that same offer was submitted a couple weeks later, and then they went and accepted that.
It was lower actually because
lower?
they took their time. It was like 2 months after.
I'm in a deal right now with Gary. We've talked about Gary on this podcast before. Very patient guy. And that's the fun of negotiation. Like, oh, well, we'll take that offer. No, that offer is no longer there because now it's a little less. So it's a very unique market. Like I say to clients a lot, like we're not trying to be jerks. The market's in our favor. So we're going to figure out how much the market likes us. And that's the fun part of the job, but it's the job. We want to get the best price.
And the power you have is the power to walk away. So if it's like the home that you want to get and you know that that's your dream home, maybe don't offer a ton under on that home. But if it's something where you have the power to walk away, that's where your leverage comes from. And we were negotiating a deal recently, and the other agent was like, well, are your buyers willing to terminate over this? And it was like, why would I tell you that they're not? Of course they're willing to terminate over this. Like, give us what we want. So that power to walk away is really what you're using when you're coming in under on a deal.
Yeah, and especially like the way the market was this summer, we would have some listing agents and sellers say no at the beginning when you first made the offer, and then they'd come back again and be like, actually, would you mind sending that over again? So
Yeah. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of time or calibration for the sellers to understand like their expectations were not correct.
right,
And
yeah.
and that's where us looking at the comps and making sure that that offer is in line and working that. So some people, they got to be convinced against their will, and that happens. So
To piggyback off what Jackson was saying, a pro tip for all you buyers is to keep as much emotion out of the process as possible. The least or the less emotional you are, the easier it is for all of us to negotiate and get what you want. If you can have that ability to walk away, it makes that process so much more powerful for us as agents. So keep that in mind when you enter the buying field, because it's super helpful.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, the first thought I had with this question is that, like, if you're all in on this house, well, let's go get that house. And it's less about price.
Yeah.
When it is about price, then that's why you hire us, but you've got to be emotionless. You can't kind of play in both games.
Well, when you know you have 12,500 homes on the market currently, it's a little bit easier to say, well, if not this one, then we'll just go to the next one.
and sometimes the next one's just a couple houses down.
Yeah, it's in the same neighborhood. So pretty easy.
And you realize that when you put it in the GPS, and then you just get out of your car and walk two houses down.
Yeah.
So, not that that's happened.
For sure. All right, what's next?
Okay. How hard is it to pass the real estate exam? How many times did each of you guys take it?
Oh,
And-
no.
Man.
and is it intimidating?
Oh,
So
man.
3-part question.
Wow.
All right.
I was plenty scared. I was. And
You've had it the longest, clearly.
yeah, I think so. 18 years. But I passed the national one the first time, but I had to study a ton, and I took it in 3 weeks. But it was like on drugs. Like the class went from like 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that. So I took like the blitz class, and I needed like an extra week after to just like collect my thoughts and study and like grind for the test. And so I passed the national one the first time, but the state one took me 3 times. That was brutal.
Ooh,
I
so we
struggled.
did not know.
I really struggled with the title, like just the because they make you understand a settlement statement inside and out, and the title policies and all that stuff, and the questions are meant to trick you. And I was never a great test taker, to be honest. And so you have to look at the wording on the questions, and it is not geared to be easy. So
I actually failed so many times they just felt bad for me and they gave me a license. Here you go. No,
Jackson, have you ever failed a test?
I don't think so.
So your joke falls flat.
Yeah.
No one believes you.
yeah.
I studied for a couple months, and then I was never a great test taker either, but I somehow got lucky and passed it the first time, both on national and state, and never looked back.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's always better that way.
I had to take it twice, but I also think I blocked that out of my memory because it was so bad. I was telling them before this, I didn't sleep for like 2 days before I took it the second time. And I was so out of it that I saw the screen was green and said pass, and I just walked out. No
Like,
reaction or anything.
Don't care what percent.
Yeah.
Pass. Good to go.
I did I did all online, but it was 2 months, I think I was studying. And the national stuff is pretty straight up. Like, you know it. And I remember passing that without too much trouble. And then the state one, I was like seething mad for like the last 20 minutes because I'm being abused and tricked. And I'm like, now I got to come back tomorrow and do this. God. And then I passed with like 2 percentage points higher than
Oh,
you had to.
nice. That's great.
But I was pissed. I was so angry.
They try to trick you, for sure.
Yeah, I did
Brock, we all know you took it once and passed it just fine. Next.
did the online stuff. So there's what's the requirement? 168 hours of studying is like the required. So like the online classes, they're tracking that.
I think that was one of the test questions.
They have yeah, that might be number 62. So you got to go through, 168 hours of studying, practicing, learning about everything. Then they got a lot of sample test questions. So they kind of recycled a lot of those questions in the database. So they'll try and mix some things up. But I did a lot of the pre-test stuff ahead of time, and I took the state and the national stuff all at one time. And is it 80% or higher, I think is the requirement?
75.
75?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it went through. But I did a lot of prep work, and I was doing a full-time job while I was doing that. So it was, in the evenings and, the wee hours of the morning. So, but
Well, a lot of people ask you, like, does it prepare you to be a great realtor?
That's
the
the-
answer is absolutely not.
no,
It's,
I was, so
That's
I,
not totally true. There's
well,
there
No,
are
it is, Chad. It is
there,
totally.
yes, there are some things that I thought like, oh, I'm really going to have to like lot surveys and like, all the different types of measurements. I don't think that has ever come up.
if it did, then you wouldn't have
So-
the fallout rate that you had in the industry.
Yeah.
That's my argument.
Yeah,
Is
that's very true.
3
So
out of 4 agents fail in the first 2 years of the business.
I
So
think the most informative thing that I've been through was like the Contracts 101 class, like as continuing education credits, where they went like line by line on each of the contracts and state specific and what it all is. I think that was far more beneficial than the 168 hours. So
But ultimately, you have to understand, a test isn't going to teach you how to create a good relationship with a client. Period. And
Yeah.
real estate is
Yep.
that, and creating a trust factor with the people you're in contact with.
and the experience of, if I check this box, what does that mean for my buyer? Or what does that mean for my seller?
Yeah.
And that type of stuff. So,
that side is super beneficial. The
Yep.
contract.
and that's the thing, that experience, right? So, that's the part that I've found that's way more beneficial. The classes was more of just kind of like, hey, this is you're serious enough. This is a barrier to entry. You've done this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely. All right, next.
Okay.
Very vulnerable question.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the difference between being pre-qualified and being pre-approved?
ooh,
Great question.
wow.
It's kinda
Gabby, we're going to put you on the spot just because you have,
That's technically a lender question.
it is a lender question, but
And I'm
she-
not at liberty to answer anything outside of
because
real
I am
estate.
not a lending professional in
I'm
the
not.
state of Colorado.
So pre-qualification is basically when the lenders talk to you and they've just said like, hey, let's talk numbers, right? As far as what you make, what your debt is.
Very surface level.
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ballpark.
And it can even mean that they pulled your credit. That can still be a pre-qualification. Usually
Yeah.
does not. Yeah. But the pre-approval would mean that you've actually submitted all your documents to a lender's portal. They can look at everything. Some of the lenders are getting people like conditionally approved before they even go out to look too with an underwriter. So that's the difference.
So that's your paycheck stubs, your debt to income, bank statements, all that type of stuff to make sure
Maybe
there's
a
not.
soft credit pull too.
Yeah.
Something that's not a hard.
So that carries much more weight when you are submitting an offer, because if you're submitting an offer for $750,000 for a home, the seller is going to want to know that you can actually qualify for the mortgage, because that's right. I mean, they don't want to go through all of the drama and then have that back out because of it. So
But step one, just contact your lender. If you have any more questions about that stuff, that's going to be a good one for your lender.
Like the first question we talked about, what's the first step? Like doing a pre-approval to get a guesstimate on what you can afford, there's value in that. But it's completely irrelevant when you're getting ready to write an offer.
Yeah.
We need a letter from the bank for the seller to see that we're worthy of buying.
Definitely.
the other thing is personal finance is very personal, right? So you got to figure out what works best for you and your family and your budget and whatever that may be. So, because a lender can go, 52% debt to income ratio, but that doesn't mean that some people are going to want to live that quality of life where they're paying that much for a home.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people are like, yeah, we qualified for $1 million, but we'd like to buy it about 600,000. Well, it's because they want to have a different quality of life and they want to travel or do something else. So getting that in line, you personally knowing your numbers, and then having the lenders figure out where you are too.
Yeah. All right, Kristen, got any more brain busters?
And then going back to the real estate exam, how often do you have to renew your license, and what does that look like?
Every 3 years.
To keep
I
So-
hate that December.
Yeah.
Every 3 years, and you got to have 24 hours of continuing education credits, so 8 per year. So you got to keep learning.
Yeah, you got to, and if you what is it, if you don't do your continuing education credits, you can go back and actually retake the test.
Which I never want to do again.
Yeah, so if you don't want to take the test again,
There's always a little cramming. When does that happen? Like watching football on
I will
New
be.
Year's Eve.
I'll be completely transparent. There was one year I was like, "Crap, I still have like so many credits," and I was taking like 4 classes at once to meet, like all in December.
All right, next.
Is it hard when you show so many homes not to go back to your own personal home and make changes?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
yes, I've taken many pictures of inspiration, like, oh, I really like what they did here.
Yeah.
It's hard not to move every 2 years.
Yes. Sometimes it's completely the opposite. You get home and you're like, because you've seen a lot of not so awesome homes.
Yeah,
That's true too. Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
man, I really love.
it depends on the price point you're looking at, but if you're showing $2 million homes, it's
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a loaded question. Do you ever not look at your own home and its investment value once you join this profession?
yeah, everything is a business trade for me.
Yeah.
For like, okay, I'm adding overhead lighting. Well, what does it cost in a new build? What can I do it for? I'm always doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a good question.
So do you only like remodel parts of your home that you know have the highest
return on investment.
return on investment?
That's where I start.
Honestly,
Yeah, unless my wife wants something else.
Yeah. And honestly, for me,
Shout out to Jasmine.
yeah, Jay and I are at the point now where it's like, okay, we have young kids. They destroy everything, so we're not going to push anything yet. But when we do, yeah, it'll be more of like, okay, let's do the stuff first. That's going to get us the most money back.
Yeah.
And then, because I mean, long term, yeah, we want to stay in the house for a while, so we'll probably do some stuff that maybe won't give us the best returns later, but
Yeah.
flooring,
My
kitchens, and
my last home, I did the kitchen last, and that was like new. So when we were actually selling the home, the kitchen was brand new and hardly used. So we really liked how the remodeled kitchen was. So in our new home, we remodeled the kitchen first
Yeah.
because we wanted to be able to experience that. So
Yeah.
but that's where you can get some big bang for your buck. So
it's all preference at that point.
yeah,
Yeah. Somehow when Jasmine says I want counters, they happen pretty quickly. But when she said I want windows, it took a while. like,
did you clean the windows to see if you
15%
could just?
return on investment? I don't think so, honey.
Did you clean the windows to make them look better? No,
Yeah. That's the first step.
limp them along.
We see the full spectrum, so yeah, you'll see stuff where you're like, wow, that's inspiring. I should put that into my house. But I don't like go see a bunch of potential flip homes and be like, you know what? I should tear my flooring up to concrete and put in a spooky hanging light bulb and graffiti my wall. I think we need to make some changes at home. So you see it all.
That's what I mean. That's like when you're just racing to get back to your own home.
Make my home smell like BO and marijuana.
Yeah, there are times where you come back home like, I love this house. I love this house.
Oh, my
But
gosh.
we always have a list.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's always improvements you
Prioritize
can
this.
make.
Great question.
My house is still pink.
Spencer promised his daughter that she could have a strawberry shortcake house, and it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed yet.
Good dad. Good dad.
Pink was invented for boys.
When we do paint it, we're gonna paint a handprint of hers, or we're gonna keep a handprint of hers with the pink, or
There you go.
yeah, pink handprint of hers.
I'm gonna tell Dino and Liam to start stepping up, and asking, like, demanding a different color.
Oh, we don't care about Dean and Liam.
Girls run that house.
you-
We know who runs
The
that
girls
house.
run the house. For sure.
All right, next.
So what's the best remodel project that you can do for your home?
Great question.
The one your home needs.
Terrible answer.
I'm assuming what's the highest?
If you're getting ready to sell,
I would assume it means the highest return on investment.
Yeah. So carpet and paint still takes the list.
Yeah,
I think as far as that goes, and all flooring and paint, but like especially LVP, like the vinyl plank flooring and carpet, tend to have the best returns, and then the right paint color is probably right up there with it.
And what's the right paint color?
The short answer. Alabaster. Sherwin-Williams.
it's called Landon Gray.
Agreeable gray.
No,
agreeable gray.
that's out. That's so out.
That's out.
Alabaster's like
I don't
agreeable
know.
cream.
I just saw
It's
it
on
painted
my
the-
wall,
I
but-
saw it painted the other day.
Yeah, it's
They
on
even they even listed it as agreeable gray.
There's
Like,
dove white. There's a few now. There's
Yeah,
like
there's like 600 shades of white, and you'll pick one. So.
It's true.
I got really
No one's
bored
gonna tell.
at an open house, and one of the stagers had a book there that was about interior design, and there was like 8 chapters on the color white. So there's a lot of shades of white that I found out that I didn't know about yet. So I would say just ask your realtor what is like the current in neutral
Jackson read
color.
the whole.
Jackson, you could have been making calls that whole open house.
But now what's the resource you have?
We should have cross-referenced every one of these questions with old
I don't know. I look at that as
episodes
continuing education.
because we have a whole episode on that.
Credits without any credit. Oh, that's hilarious.
Who's getting credit now?
Yeah, this looks
We
interesting.
actually answer the question, but like floors, paint, always there, 2.5, 3 times
Yep.
ROI.
Yep.
You could also do appliances and get some money
Yeah.
back on that one.
Appliances are
Nice.
2 to 1.
Cabinets, they're a little bit more expensive, but you'll usually get a little bit more back on cabinets as well. Countertops a little bit, but the ones that Landon listed at the beginning, those are like your top range.
Don't do your
Yep.
windows unless you really want
Yep.
new windows.
Yeah.
Keep away from your windows. I wouldn't finish your basement to sell a house by any means.
Yeah.
Basement's
Or-
more of a
Or
personal
HVAC.
or
Like,
HVAC.
bathroom.
be reactive to things that are going to give you a low return. Be very proactive on things.
Just
that are going to give you double
hire a
return.
professional, and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do.
Yep.
And if you don't listen, it's your fault.
That's it. That's it. Next.
If you didn't live in the town you live in now,
Oh,
what
that's a good
surrounding
one.
area would you live in and why?
Oh.
I know. I know.
I know what town I wouldn't live in.
Like in Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big.
So because Hilton Head is not in Colorado, I would live in Castle Rock.
Is money no object?
Are you kidding me?
I love Castle Rock.
Are you kidding
I would
me?
fly right over Parker and
You
live
are
in Castle
so, you are so stupid. Oh my God.
I think Castle Rock is so scenic. Like every time we want to be outdoors, we go
He's
down
doing
there.
this to make me mad
It's
on purpose.
beautiful.
That's on purpose.
No, I'm not. These
so
are being
stupid.
absolutely real.
Are you talking like
would totally
Castle
live in
Rock
Castle Rock.
proper or Castle Pines?
No, Castle Rock. I would live in Castle Rock. I love Castle Rock.
He's totally
I think it's
He
important
needs
for us
Castle
to stay
No,
where
he's
you live.
stupid. That's what he is. That's
Yeah. Oh, I live in Highlands
terrible.
Ranch, and I love Highlands Ranch. But if I didn't live there, I would live in Castle Rock. Done.
Gosh.
Yep.
I'd probably go downtown Denver, just be more walkable, get rid of my car.
You are hip.
Yeah,
Look at you.
be fun. Well, there's a reason I don't live there, but if I had to live somewhere else.
I live in Denver, and I would probably live in like Greenwood Village,
Nice.
like that area.
Cool.
What do you like
So-
about that area? Why?
I don't know. I grew up in Highlands Ranch, so it's kind of the same but different, I guess. A little bit closer to Denver, so I could still go to some of the places I've discovered and stuff like that, but still kind of a suburb. So I'm not downtown or anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
On an acre in Cherry Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. The types
I'm
of
changing
house-
mine. I like Abby's.
Yeah, the types of houses there too definitely have something to do with it. But
Yeah, for sure.
I live in Highlands Ranch too. I love Highlands Ranch, but we're empty nesters. So we think about Cherry Hills or somewhere one of those northern enclaves like parts of Denver. Smaller lot or smaller homes, bigger lots, big old mature trees.
yeah. Or like I've always liked Beaumar too.
Yeah.
Beaumar's cool.
Omar's awesome.
Beaumar's like
3/4 acres.
A
Yeah.
lake would be so nice, especially with kids and stuff.
Yeah. Tule Lake's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would be different. I live in Highlands Ranch right now, but if I didn't have the kids and the job and everything else, I could just live wherever. I'd probably go get 40 acres out in the mountains someplace and just go enjoy life and, you know, have a little hobby farm and enjoy life.
Find some bike trails.
Yep, I'd make my own. I'd have a pump track in the yard and probably a dirt bike track and enjoy it.
I believe it. This is good insight. Spencer, Highlands Ranch?
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely not.
I got the perfect place for you.
You know what's funny about Highlands Ranch? It's not even a real town. It's a subdivision.
It is a town.
Moving on. No, it's not.
It's a town. It's not a city, but it's a town.
It's an HOA. That's all it is one HOA. So,
Parker Goober. What
But
does
it's
that say
big.
in your head? Parker Goober.
no, not at all.
That's
But
beside the
I
point.
do
Where,
live-
where would you live?
I do live in Parker, and if I were to live anywhere else, I'd probably, I do like Parker.
Because you're on house arrest, you can't go farther than
I'm
far enough.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah, your ankle doesn't come off for a while.
It depends on the day, but like Franktown or Castle Rock.
Seriously? Oh,
Yeah.
no one brought up like Vale. Or
That's what
Aspen.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
if
when
I
you
could-
have 4 kids, the
We were thinking
schools-
Denver Metro, though.
Yeah, like
Okay,
if,
well,
if
yeah.
we're empty nesters, like yeah, I own a house up there in Crested Butte area, but
Yeah,
I love
Crested
Frisco.
Butte,
Frisco's
yeah.
one of my favorite places.
Frisco's
Frisco,
cool.
Silverthorne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. Dylan,
That's an
Always good
awesome
spots.
question. I love that one.
great question.
All right.
Castle Rock.
Has the struggle for
said the
some
same
areas
thing.
in Colorado?
Because I live in Parker.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Sorry.
in the corner.
I'm pretty upset.
Parker boy, tone it down.
Jay just chimed in. She said Spencer is lying and he would pick Elizabeth.
Oh, the truth comes out.
Thank you,
Jay
Jay.
just sold you out. We knew she would come through.
I thought we were.
Way to go, Jay.
I thought we were better friends than that, Jay. But no, I like Elizabeth. Absolutely. I think there's just so much building going on out there right now. I feel like it's turning into like another Parker, which is good, but it's just I think Franktown and Castle Rock are a little bit closer to where I don't know, just more accessible at this point. I like Elizabeth though. Elizabeth is awesome.
Jay's the best question asker in the world. So
Yeah,
I-
she gets real deep in
if
person.
she has any questions, just be
She has
attentive.
no problem calling people out apparently.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Especially you. Which I like a lot. All right, keep going.
Has the struggle for some areas in Colorado to insure properties impacted sales?
Honestly, not as much as like maybe you'd think. I think the fires were like the biggest part of that, where some of the mountain properties like weren't insurable by maybe more than one company. You know, you like really had to go deep in your book to find someone that would insure it. But other than that, like I haven't seen that big of a difference. But it's just been a huge increase in the premium values have gone up big
Yeah,
time.
we're number one for hail,
Yeah.
and then forest fires is another challenge. So, which people who have actually you got a place in Keystone, so you probably know like when they redid all of the insurance premiums,
Yeah, we just went through it. It went up
a lot of money.
30%.
Yeah, so
But if you go out on the open market and there's so few, you pay more than double.
Yep.
You know, that's the conversation we had.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say no. It has, but it just limits your, opportunities on who insures.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking this weekend with out-of-state buyers. Did we have any bad hail this whole season?
No, I didn't. I don't think we experienced
We
anything
really
crazy.
didn't. So maybe
there was some north.
that
Yeah,
eases
in
things
Fort
next
Collins,
year.
We had some
There.
once or twice.
There's way more than you think, though.
Yeah.
I've got
Oh,
no,
yeah.
There's
But
a
up
lot
in the
more
mountains,
scattered.
The fire issue is real.
Yeah.
We sold a place in Bailey and it fell through for insurance essentially.
Yep. Definitely.
You just said we haven't had bad hail, and you didn't even knock on wood. You knocked on
I-
veneer.
I knocked
We're in
on
trouble now.
All right. Next, that was one hell of a question. Let's go to the next one.
Whoa! Dad jokes.
Had to get one. All right.
What is your favorite part about being a realtor, and what's the most stressful part?
We got to go round robin on that one.
Yeah. Favorite part's probably the cookies that people leave out at showings. And then
The little bottles of water they leave in the
How about the fish fillet?
gross.
we were trying not to mention that this episode. But I think just the joy of like seeing either an individual or family like get into their home for the first time is like such a cool experience especially when they're like super enthusiastic about home ownership. Like it's the coolest thing ever. So I love that. Just love solving people's problems. And then I think the worst part, I think just anytime you're working with people all the time, you're going to run into some craziness, just some like, really? That's the way you're thinking about this? Like, it's just, it's just bound to happen. Anybody that's been in sales or has worked with people long enough knows that is the case. Not everybody's happy in their own life. And so sometimes they can throw up on you. But I think that for the most part, we just have great clients and people that we've kept in touch with that have been awesome. So those are few and far in between, but I would say that's probably the worst part. Next. Or do you guys have?
We're going to go around. I think
Okay.
everybody.
Yeah, you guys go
Oh.
first. I
My
have a lot to say about this one.
so I
My
don't know.
favorite thing is the inspection resolution.
Not at all. No.
I love reading the HOA docs.
That might be Brock's, actually. He reads instruction manuals for fun.
So
Literally, you're out.
No,
speak for you.
I'm a big proponent of home ownership. I really enjoy like seeing people kind of make it their own. So like being able to see past a home that, you know, may have really odd colors on the wall and they paint it and they make it their own, and decorate the way they want to. So I had some friends who bought last year and they'd been kind of habitual renters for a long time and didn't think it was possible for them to be homeowners. They got into the home and were able to host at the holidays and have family over, and they actually had a spot that was theirs and like they could make it their own and do what they want to with it. And, you know, they reached out and said, hey, it was really a great thing to be able to go through this experience, but I never realized what a benefit home ownership would be until I had my entire family sitting there with me in my house. And he goes, I realized that you were just trying to get me there, and I thought you were just a sales pitch, but it turns out there's a more intrinsic value that you don't have. So it was a really cool experience to be able to do that. So
That's cool.
but the stressful part is the deadlines. Like sometimes the sense of urgency from our side is like, oh, we got to get this signed like right away. Some people are busy with their jobs or doing whatever, and they don't have that same sense of urgency. So I'm like waiting for a signature to come in like, hey, we got like 5 more minutes and this stuff's got to be signed or we're going to be out of, fall out of contract. So it happens, but sometimes it's that communication. But you get someone like me who wants to read all the documents and it's like, well, I know we only gave you 2 hours to read it, but here you go.
Yeah.
I'd say my favorite thing is just getting people a great deal, getting them a great house. That's always satisfying, and I love negotiating and just winning for my clients. The worst thing for me is when you go into a house that has the water shut off and somebody has used the bathroom in that house. It's only happened like 4 times, but such an assault on the olfactory senses is not quickly forgotten. So that's probably the worst part, if you ask me.
Can't argue with that.
Spencer, squatters, your favorite part about being an LCD?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Squatters. It's the worst. Yeah,
A couple of those fun ones this year.
My favorite part is honestly just seeing all the different homes and kind of being up to date on like what the new neighborhoods are and stuff. Like everyone else was saying, like homes are really personal. So even if it's not your taste, like it's still cool to see. And even like the other day, I went and showed a house in like West Highland, and I was like, oh, this is actually a cool area, but I haven't really spent
Certainly
time
for
here.
a young gal like you.
Yeah.
The
they have
coolest.
cute houses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the most stressful part would be.
You'll find out. Just keep going.
I was pretty stressed when I was driving to Longmont the other day, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty fun so far.
Traffic. Yeah, because we're in our
Yeah.
cars a lot, so that's a good one.
That's probably
Yeah.
worthy of.
Yeah.
The worst part is your car. No, I always think about the most fun, rewarding is first-time buyers, but a close second is out-of-town buyers because you get to sell the state and you get to sell the metro in certain towns. That's pretty fun. But getting first-time home buyers into there, that's the bomb.
Yeah.
I've worked with some people who lie. That sucks. Other agents who simply are lying. But in terms of the timeline stress, I don't know, it doesn't get me too down. It's
Yeah.
a period of time. You do the best. It happens.
Lying and unethical behavior.
That is the pits.
Yeah.
I thought of something else. And he
frustrating.
said that agents that don't pick up the phone.
Yeah. Oh, which is more common than
Bad
the ones that
Well,
answer their
I
phone.
was surprised when I
Way
first
better
started.
now.
Yeah.
Because now we
How
got-
many people just like won't answer or don't care that you want to make an offer or
Yeah.
anything like that? That's crazy to
It's
me.
not a
Nuts.
strategy.
Yeah.
A good one anyway.
Pick your agent wisely. That's all we have to say.
I think for me, and this is going to sound corny, and I don't mean it to, but like I've made some like the best friends we've ever had from this business, and so like
It's true.
going in and meeting new clients is really exciting for me because I'm like, okay, who is this person? I'm going to get to know this person while we get to go look at homes. It's so fun. It's
Yeah.
like one of the funnest things you could ever do is
For sure.
look at all these awesome houses and get them all excited, and then getting to know them at the same time and making some really, really cool relationships.
We've actually
along
got
the way.
clients coming over on Thursday night who are clients that moved from Tucson, Arizona,
Yeah.
which hang out social.
And the cool part is like our team, we like put on like client events for them so that we can reconnect with all these people, and if if we're not connecting with them already, and it's
That's
just
a good point for that question. We didn't talk about all those events.
yeah, we put on some awesome events, but that's probably for me one of the coolest parts about this business. And then obviously seeing like everybody so happy about closing on their house, and it's awesome. It's just all a great process. The most stressful thing of this business is just flowing, like adapting with the different markets. So learning to kind of roll with the punches, for lack of a better term, because sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult. And I know every industry has their ups and downs with market flow, but real estate is one of those key indicators in the market that really takes a hit. It's either really, really good, or sometimes can be really, really bad, and you just have to figure out how to cater to that market and keep pushing through the walls that present themselves. So it's good though. Like it's a great business to be in.
Definitely.
Overall.
Yeah. We all know what the real worst thing is when you see somebody else's sign in your friend's yard.
Yeah, your neighbor right next to you. You're like, what the heck?
What just happened? Yeah.
My daughter's friend's cousin was a realtor, so we used them instead.
Yes, and then you see what it sold for, and you go, ugh.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Couple gut check
That just
moments.
screws up
So-
my appreciation.
people that you care about, that's one of the hardest things to see in life, is the people that you care about make decisions that aren't in their best interest when you know better. So
All right. I think we covered that one.
Okay. As realtors, do you handle your own accounting / bookkeeping needs, or do you hire out?
No.
Heck to the no.
I just don't pay my taxes.
Wait, bookkeeping? We're supposed to be doing that?
you got to pay taxes.
We're independent contractors. We don't pay taxes. What do you mean?
No, if you're doing your taxes on your own, I mean, anybody who's done their taxes on their own as a self-employee, it's difficult to get everything, like all the deductions and all the benefits out of that. So I use an accountant. It's super beneficial, and it's always worth it.
Yeah.
Always worth it.
Got a great
Taxes
CPA.
are stressful.
Yeah. Yep. Good question.
Okay.
Next.
So, real estate adjacent question. If I'm managing multiple condos and considering hiring a property manager, what traits should I look for and look out for?
What traits in
In
like
a
tenants?
property
Oh, in a
management.
property management company.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a question for you.
Yeah.
Considering hiring a property
Yeah,
manager,
you've got
I'm assuming they mean what traits should I look for in a property manager, and what traits should I look out for?
Gotcha. Great question.
Green
So like,
flags, red flags.
I think just, I think looking for I would say the going rate is like 10%, of the rental amount, but that's not everything, right? Some will do it for a little bit less, but you want to make sure that company has great reviews, that they seem like they're responsive, and if your interaction with them, like in looking for a property manager and setting up appointments, is not good as far as the communication goes, then it may not be good when you have a need, on your property. So just making sure that they're good, they're jumping on things quickly as far as communication goes. And I would say really having them be fully responsible for like finding the tenant, showing the house, the background checks, like talk through that as far as what do they do to make sure that you're not going to have a bad tenant that can really screw your place up. And they can't make sure there's no 100% safety net there, but they can, some are better than others at vetting tenants. And so I think
Renewal
that's
rate.
big.
You want to talk about their metrics,
Yeah.
and the more you talk, just saying get at their metrics. Ask them, you'll learn as you talk to others, but renewal rate would seem to be
Yeah.
a big one.
Yep. Definitely.
the other thing that is, if you have a home that needs repair or needs anything else, that they have a good book of people that they can contract out to do that. And they apply some common sense, because sometimes some tenants are asking for things that are just not needed. So that they have a vetting process or a screening process to kind of bring some common sense into that picture. But if they're going to go with, there's an orange truck and another truck that has really expensive plumbing things around here. You could pay $5,000 for a water heater, or you could pay $1,500 for a water heater. So, it's your money at the end of the day. So you want to make sure that you're they've got a good network of people.
And you want
So,
someone that's going to like take on responsibility. That's not just going to like shuffle it all back to you.
Yes.
Because that's the you know, just kind of, you want someone that can take charge, and like in their contract, it's nice to have something where it's like, if it's under this amount, you just do it. Right. But if it's over this amount, then call me and I'll make the decision, sort of a thing, just so that you
Yeah.
can be as less involved as possible.
Yeah, I've seen some tenants where like the shower door was ripped off and the tile from the wall was broken, and their response was, the property manager was, "Oh, we're just going to remodel the entire bathroom." And it's like, how about we ask the question why the shower door ripped off? That's
Yeah.
let's ask some questions first. So
Totally. Yeah.
Don't just sign a check and move on.
Yep. And my experience with rentals has been much better after hiring a property manager. So I'm a believer for sure, but you just definitely want to make sure it's the right fit.
Okay.
Great
As-
answer. Great answer.
It's a good question.
As tariffs start taking hold, what effect should we anticipate on housing prices and the market in general?
Good one.
TBD. I did get news just the other day that lumber prices are coming down, mostly because there's less demand. So it may work both ways.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say on that one. That feels like we already kind of felt the effects, you know, as far as like material increase in pricing, but maybe there's a lot more to come. Maybe you
Well,
can speak more on that.
COVID really jacked up the prices really, really high. So they're coming down. So yeah, if there's tariffs that are coming onto it, but it's not impacting it, it's still coming down from the high from COVID. Because I mean, I remember I delayed, replacing a section of my fence because I just looked at the prices and I'm like, that was a third the price like 2 months ago. So I just said, I don't need to do that right now because it's like I don't need to pay an extra $50,000 for this. So
Right.
just wait.
Yeah.
And now they've come down to very reasonable rates. So.
Yep. Cool.
That's a tough one to measure right now.
We didn't really
Yeah.
answer it.
Have to have a crystal ball. Yeah.
Do you consider your job a sales job?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Definitely.
May not be like your typical sales, like medical sales or something like that, but it is definitely a sales job.
Correct. And it's more of a soft sales job. It's not a hard sell.
Yeah.
Like you're not at people's doors telling them they need to buy this magazine subscription, right
That
now.
doesn't mean we're not knocking on doors. Doesn't mean we're not making calls.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're not doing all the other stuff that they do. It's just
You
Some
do
of
a
the
lot of
activities are the same.
sales related activities, but it's more for long-term relationship building
Yep.
and finding people that are just have a need, right now. So you got to talk to enough people to be able to find the needs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Yeah, but I think we sell ourselves more than anything else.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah, because we're in the service industry too. So you said sales industry, service industry, relationship building industry, marriage counselor. I mean, there's a lot,
Therapist.
a lot of different things
Yeah.
we kind of occupy.
Sometimes I forget we're sales, and then people are mean to me, and I'm like, oh yeah. I called that guy, and he said he hoped I get cancer. I do have a sales job.
It's nice to be humbled every now and again.
Next.
Have you ever had to fire a client, either a buyer or a seller?
Yeah.
We have. We had one buyer that went through 2 different members of our team and then finally saw the exit door. Yeah, we've done that. We get to choose who we work with too, right? And like there's just some people that aren't happy with their own life and they try to spill it out on other people, or they just are not respectful at all, right? And we just don't have time for people like that. Like,
Yeah, there are some times where it's like, I do want to meet this goal, and so I'll probably take them on as a client, and typically most of the time you still regret it
yeah.
because you're like, some people just project all their issues onto you as the realtor because they're in another stressful situation of buying a house.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen very often. That's very few and far in between.
We get pretty lucky to work with
Yep,
some pretty awesome people.
99 times out of 100, they're great. Next, is this the last question?
So we're caught up on the live questions.
Okay.
And so these are kind of questions that were posted when we posted.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh wait. What was the most rewarding experience you have had in real estate? This question just.
Oh man, Man, that's a tough one.
That was a tough one. I had an interesting experience. I had like a family that we worked with that was very religious, and they actually like kind of involved me and asked me to like pray with them as like in the house, like when they were doing that. And it was kind of a cool experience. I would never like have thought to do that personally, you know, but it was like on the spot. They would do that in each of the houses that they were considering, and they kind of involved me in that. And so like seeing how they went about that decision and like were very spiritual about the process, I just thought it was cool. I thought it was really interesting to see that mindset and like the way that they went about it, and the fact that they were comfortable enough to involve me in that, I thought was really interesting. But never happened again, and never happened before. That was a kind of a one-time deal, but it was a neat experience, I would say. But
the question was the most rewarding experience. Oh man, I've got a couple. I think anytime I get to help some family members or like really close friends get what they're wanting. I think actually one that for me, it was my very first open house. I met an awesome lady that came through. She left. 2 weeks later, had another open house in a different house. That same lady came through, and I was like, "Hey, so-and-so." She's like, "Oh my gosh, you remembered my name." This was my very first two open houses I ever had. And she's become like a dear friend. Unfortunately, she moved back to where she came from, but she's just the sweetest lady. And I got to I've helped her with 3 transactions, currently on the 4th right now. Yes. And she's just been a joy. She's awesome. Like just making that kind of relationship. And I've had a couple of those, but it was rewarding because it was like one of those, it was an open house. Like I got my very first, like one of my best clients from an open house just by remembering somebody's name. And it's been pretty fruitful for me, not only in transactions, but in a really solid relationship.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think second career, I haven't been doing this that long. So the first of your old colleagues, friends from your previous world, when they hire you to be your agent because they trust you, even though they know you haven't sold a lot of houses, that was pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
It kind of gives you a little giddy up to stick at it.
Yeah, I can speak to that. I've got some friends that I knew from a previous career and helped them with their transactions and buying and selling, and they said there was no way that they would have been able to do it without me. And then for them to have other friends that are in the process to be able to, hey, here's our experience, this is who you want to go with, and be able to have that referral with that high level of trust, and that it just speaks volumes to the service and the effort that you put in, and that certificates of appreciation that come through at the end of doing a good job.
I'd say for me, it was probably my first deal because it was during COVID, like the Vietnam of real estate. And we put in, I think it was 16 or 18 offers on all these different homes. It was always like competing offers. There was like 15 other people offering on the same homes. And finally getting them under contract, getting them a home that they really liked. And it being like the first deal, I think that was probably the most rewarding.
You just think of Jackson's phrase like terminology and just let it simmer for a bit. It gets better with time.
What movie we were talking about?
Apocalypse. We planted the seed.
It's like Jimmy Fallon's thank you notes. Thank you, COVID, for being the Vietnam of real estate.
For me, it was also my first deal. I was working with an out-of-state client on mine for like a few weeks or a month or whatever. And then they finally came to Colorado to do showings. So getting to meet them and stuff was really rewarding. And like since I'd only talked to them online and stuff, I was kind of like, okay, how is this gonna go? But then they were great, and we had a great day. We made lots of jokes. We actually ended up doing more showings than we originally planned and having a great time. So that was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you negotiated an awesome deal for him too.
Oh
That was
yeah,
great.
that was rewarding too.
Yep.
Learning to negotiate was really fun.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah.
It's
You
good.
never stop learning that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a new angle.
the first referral, like I've got, meet them at an open house. You get to know them online for, 8 months. They're finally ready to move. You get them situated in a great place here, and then they refer you to a friend.
Yeah,
That's pretty rewarding.
it is. Receiving a referral from a friend is like
If you
one
want
of
to
the
say
best.
thank you to your realtor,
Yeah,
referrals are the best way to do it.
super cool.
I know that sounds stupid, but
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah. Well, and part of, I would say, like, one of the most rewarding things for me, because we're also like in the content creation business, right? Is just what we do here. Like, this has been really cool. Let's just sum it all up. This is our 100th episode, but like seeing you guys, like hearing you guys talk like experts, about the real estate market and all your experience that you're getting. Like for me, that's one of the most rewarding things, is seeing your guys' growth and seeing you mature in the business and all that you've learned and having a chance to take part in that and the bonding that we've had like here in the podcast room has been a lot of fun. We've laughed a lot over 100 episodes and I think gotten to know each other a lot too. Like even today, like I've gotten to know like a lot of things from you guys that I never would have probably asked you, but our listeners made up some great questions. So this has been cool. Hopefully it's been really valuable for other people outside of the room as well. But I feel like we've gotten to know the market ourselves from studying for these episodes really well and gotten to know each other a lot better too. So it's all been really rewarding and I'm excited. Maybe we got another 100 in us. Who knows? But it's no small feat.
We already got
So
2 of the balloons. for that.
We just need 2.
yeah, just need 2. Just keep these,
Spencer,
keep
can
these
you blow
in the
up a 2?
office. Yeah.
Kristen, keep blowing up balloons as long as you're doing it.
All right.
Supersized lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we better wrap it up and get going here. Thank you, listeners, for listening and tuning in. And, we're excited to keep going with our podcast. It is The Real Estate Huddle. You can find us on YouTube and also on the podcast on Apple Podcasts. And we hope that you continue to listen and that you've got something out of this. And we continue to love anyone that reaches out, from the podcast and has a need as far as real estate goes. We'd love to chat, or if you just have questions about the market, we're always open to that. So thanks again.